Hello everyone, I'm here Tech Motorsports, and today we got Mazda 2010 CX9, my wife's vehicle. So passenger side, front passenger side window regulator took poop. The real bad thing about it is this will be the second time I replace this thing. So yeah, hopefully this time it'll last a lot longer than 2 years. But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and start removing the door panel. Technically what you'll end up having is you have to take this trim, pull it from here and get this silver trim off. You'll have, I think it's 3 screws here. And then what you also have to do is there's a cover that is behind the actual door handle. You gotta take that cover off, there's a screw there, and then you gotta remove this as well. I think there's a screw back there. So, and I'm only going off of the last time I did this. So once I get the panel off, of course, gotta disconnect the light and the actual door mechanism and the speaker wire. And then once we can get that off, we would access the actual window regulator. I already have one here, so hopefully this will be a quick and easy one, but we will soon see. Okay, so we have actually 2 screws here. These are 10 mils, and then we have the Phillips here, right where the door handle's at. And I went ahead and got the cover off, but I think we're gonna need to disconnect this, so we'll see. Let's just get to it. Okay, so for the actual lock itself and the door handle, what it is, it's what you'll have to do. It's a Z shape, so it goes in and snaps in that way. So you just have to kind of curve them around to be able to get them both out. So now this clip, you just gotta watch it. This is the one that's for the auto button for the window up and down. The clip is really tough to get to, but there's the clip that's on the bottom side that you have to just push to be able to pop it out. So, and here we are with this craziness. Okay, so I had these 3 bolts. Here's the actual motor itself. I had 3 10 mils on there, which was located right here. As soon as I took that off, and just everything fell, which is the mechanism for the cable, and it's all bound up. And you can see it's just in pieces at this point. So now it's just a matter of getting this off to get to the actual regulator itself. Okay, so what you want to end up doing as well is taping up the window. That's what I've got. I got tape up top, holding the window in place. So that way when I finally take these 2 10 mil nuts off, then that will technically release the regulator from this panel right here. So yeah, and then as I'm doing it, I'm going to be holding up the window just in case. Always good to be safe than sorry. And here is the crazy contraction that broke. So so great. All right, so now at this point, it's just got to lower the window down now so that I could access the screws here, so I could remove this section here, the actual regulator, off the glass. And there she is, bad regulator. Just go ahead and grab the new one. Okay, so when you get the assembly, I got the regulator with the motor. It's going to become zip tied together, so we will have to remove the motor off of the regulator, and install it after the black panel is on. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, cut these out, take the motor out, and I'm going to put the other motor over there. And then what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to have to lower the glass down to be able to get it to connect to the lower section, because this one is set up to where the window is down. So I'll go ahead and reposition my 10 mil bolts here. I will add a boot Loctite to it as well. And then gently, at this point, I don't want to be messing with this mechanism back here in the back, this piece. And then I'll put the cover on, and then I'll install the motor. Okay, so as you saw, I just had to position the window in place, try to get it get the window right, as close as to here as possible, which I was kind of off at first. But then you got to put the cover on. You could use, this is the guide pin, the little plastic tab, and once you get that into place, you could start with the lower one and get the nut in place. You could move that, and what I ended up doing was I took my pick here, and I was able to see the stud there, and I just put it through there and put it this way. And now I got my stud to go through there. So now technically the regulator is attached to this plastic piece. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and tighten. Just going to do 4 of these first, and then I'm going to get this in place because I want to put the regulator, the motor on the regulator already, so that way this does not mess up. All right, so one thing that I ended up doing was so that I could put my hand behind the actual the regulator itself. I pushed the window up, holding this as best as I could in place, so that way the actual the center of the white piece here doesn't pop out with the cables. Because now the next step is to grab the motor, and now with the window up, I can put my hand back there and keep it in position. So when I install the motor, so there's a little slot there. Trying to get it in the right slot here. All right, it looks like I almost got it in the slot. So these right here, the motor itself, I mean not the motor, sorry, the regulator, they have a little slots that you have to put it in the hole, and then technically you have to push it this way and then turn it, and then it'll fall into its slots. so that way she stays right there where she's at. So technically I could push on it, but because I have the window up, I'm going to assist it. So what you have to end up doing then is just get it into place here, finding the gear, and I found the gear, and I just had to rotate it just a tad bit to get one of these big bad boys back in place. And as I'm doing that, I'm still holding use this instead. Alright, so there she is, pretty much the window, the regulator's all back together. I'm going to go ahead and install all the regular bolts, put the speaker back in, put my connectors in place, and I'm going to go over the bolts one more time to make sure everything is tightened, and then just put the door panel back on, and that should be about it. So let's get going with that. Alright, turning on the vehicle now, and one touch down on the passenger door from the driver switch, and one touch up. Nice. Alright, I'm going to come back around and do it from the passenger switch. Okay, so there she is. She's all complete, and sweet. She could have her vehicle back with a working window now. So yeah, like always, guys, help the channel out. That's got to do that by hitting the like button and subscribing, and hope to see you in the next video.